Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper and today I'm going to be reviewing a series that I have been looking forward to making a video on for a long time. That is A Silent Voice. I'm going to take a look at this series and discuss whether I think this is something that is worth your time. Let's get right into the video. Now before I get started with the review proper, I want to throw out a quick spoiler warning. I will not be going into any of the major plot elements or discussing the story in any great detail, but I will be talking about some setups and some general elements of the story. I feel like I'll be going into as much detail as what you would get on the back of the book if you were reading the blurb on the back, so I'm going to try and keep these spoilers as light as possible. I do not want to spoil this story. It's something that you should absolutely read and experience for yourself as fresh as possible, but this is just a small warning just in case you want to go in without knowing anything about the series. So, A Silent Voice, should you read it? Well, in short, yes. I'm going to go into the details of why I think that is in this video, but I just want to say at the front that I don't feel like I've ever had a manga stick with me and affect me as much as this. This is something that I absolutely believe everyone should read. The story centres around Shoya. He's a fun-loving kid who just wants to escape his boredom, and he does this in a number of ways, whether that's hanging out with his friends, performing daredevil stunts, playing video games, or teasing his classmates. Things get a bit more serious when Shoko joins his class. She is a young girl who is deaf. She cannot communicate with her classmates in the same way that they would, by talking. She uses a communication notebook to write down what she wants to say, and she has people write in this notebook as well to convey their responses or their thoughts to her. Shoko is a kind young girl who just wants to be friends with everyone, and Shoya sees this as an opportunity to score some points with his friends, but also to, more importantly, escape his boredom. So he begins to tease her, and he takes things way too far, and some things happen between both Shoko and Shoya, and we kind of skip past their childhood and go forward to Shoya being a young adult, and he deeply regrets what he did. He wants to make amends with Shoko, and this story is all about accepting who you were when you were younger, accepting your past, but also moving forward and trying to make amends and growing as a person. I'm not really going to go into any more plot details than that. That was just to give you a little bit of a setup of what the story is. I'm going to talk about what I thought of the story, the artwork and the characters and the different things like that in this review. So let's get into that right now. Overall, I really enjoyed the story of this manga. It's set across 7 volumes. It's a nice contained story, and the pacing is really good as well. I never felt when I was reading a particular volume that there was any wasted time in the manga. There was no plot points or plot threads that were never explored, and there was nothing that I felt like was filling up the volume just for the sake of making more pages. This is a really well-paced story, and I really enjoyed watching the different characters go along this journey, and it takes a look at bullying, and it's unwavering in the way that it portrays the bullying of Shoko by Shoya and the different classmates. I like that it took this kind of unrelenting approach. It shows the bullying on the page and it makes you uncomfortable to read it, but it's a good thing. It shows how harsh and the reality of bullying can really be, but it shows it from both sides, both Shoko and Shoya. It shows you from the perspective of the person being bullied and the bully, and gives a little bit of reasons why he's doing this. However, the story never makes you sympathise with Shoya and kind of get on his side and understand why he's doing what he's doing. It very much portrays what he's doing as bad, but it shows you him trying to make amends, and I really appreciate that perspective as well. It wasn't just a feel sorry for me, I did this because of this kind of story. He knows what he did was wrong, and he never expects or asks for forgiveness in any way. He tries to prove that he's changed and earn forgiveness that way. He never just goes looking for it and never tries to be sympathetic. It's a really realistic look at bullying and its effects that it has on people throughout time, and at the time, and the effects it can have later in life as well. It's a really well thought out and well portrayed look at bullying. Part of what makes this story and this world believable and feel lived in is the characters. They are very well fleshed out. You have Shoko and Shoya, the main protagonists, but you also have a wealth of side characters who are all very well developed and have their own personality and fit within the world, and all help to sell this world as being real and believable. Shoko and Shoya in particular are excellent characters, and to see their development through the story, to see how they change as people, is honestly a joy to read. The characters overall in this story are fantastic and really help sell the story. Now, the artwork in A Silent Voice is absolutely phenomenal, and the thing that I enjoyed the most is the character designs. I've got a couple of covers here, so I'll show you. Volume 1 has Shoko and Shoya as young kids, and then in volume 2 it shows them when they are older. And what I really like is the artist has brought them to life as kids and then believably aged them up to when they're in high school. And this isn't something that's always done right in manga. Sometimes younger versions of characters don't look quite right, but even when you can even look at characters and tell that they're related. The artworks and the character design is so well thought out and well fleshed out in this series. So when you see Shoko's mother, I felt like I could instantly recognise her as Shoko's mother. They look like they are related, and again, this is not something that's always done right in manga, and it's something that I really appreciated. The side characters have a really fantastic design as well. Some of them really stand out. Some of them just look like generic manga characters at times, but I think that the main cast of characters and the main cast of side characters in particular really shine and stand out in their own right and are really well drawn. The backgrounds and the environments in A Silent Voice really help to give the series a sense of place. There are a couple of notable locations in the series that really stand out. There is the classroom where all of the bullying takes place, which really feels like a lived-in classroom, and then there's the bridge where a lot of the conversations and meetups between our characters take place, and this is a really beautiful environment, and everything just pops off the page. The mangaka has done a fantastic job of giving us some brilliant characters and some excellent environments that really feel lived in. It all helps to make this series very believable and feel real, and I feel like that's one of the main goals of this series, to feel realistic. It could be something that actually happened, and the artwork definitely helps to get that across. A Silent Voice is a series that really got its hooks into me. When I was reading every volume and when I'd finally finished the series, it really stuck with me and it affected me from volume to volume profoundly. I was drawn into the world and drawn into those situations with those characters, and I believe that this is entirely what the mangaka was intending. It takes you into those scenarios and puts you into those situations and makes you think, what would I have done in that situation? Would I have done anything differently? Sometimes it's frustrating to read the series because you're watching the interactions between the characters, and there's often this thing when I'm watching TV or reading a book that just talk to each other. You know, sometimes all these issues would be solved if the characters would just talk to each other and explain what they're thinking. But the events that unfold in this series have made talking to each other so difficult, and there's a lot of feelings, pent-up feelings that have been left over from the times of the bullying, that it's hard for the characters to express themselves, and it's part of the story. Being frustrated with the characters, I feel like, is part of the story. And when we finally get the conversations and the characters talking to each other, it makes it all the more rewarding. I would absolutely recommend that you pick up A Silent Voice and give it a read. Try volume 1. I pretty much guarantee that you will want to read the rest of the series. I was very lucky and fortunate in that I managed to pick up the box set from Kodansha, which is a brilliant way to get the story. I picked it up very cheap on Amazon. I managed to get it quite a lot below the RRP. And I would definitely recommend looking out for that if you want the complete series. But if not, you can pick up the single volumes fairly cheaply, and it's all available digitally as well. There's not much more I want to say about A Silent Voice, because to do so would be to give more of the story away than I want to in this video. I want to make more videos about A Silent Voice and delve into the story into a lot more detail. So I hope that if you try the story out and you enjoy the series, that you'll come back for those videos. I want to do some more in-depth dives into all of the characters in the story and really discuss the plot elements and the theme of the series itself. Pick up A Silent Voice and give it a read. It's definitely worth your time if you like stories with a lot of character and heart, and that have a real message as well, but it never holds your hand and explains it to you. It leaves a lot unsaid at times, and you might be a little frustrated reading it, but I do believe that at the end, when I finish the series, I was better off for having read it. So there's not much more I can say about it, but give it a go and see what you think about it. That's all for today's review. If you liked it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps out and lets me know that you enjoy what I'm doing. Just crossed 250 subs, which is absolutely fantastic. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It really helps out the channel. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram as well. Let me know there if you've read A Silent Voice or if you plan to read it, and let me know what you think of it. And let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the series. Who's your favourite character? That's it for today's video. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.